أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So we have finished our study of the properties of ism, and today we will inshallah revise them. Okay, how many properties? We know there are every ism. Every ism has four properties, and they are status, gender, number, and type. And you can also use the Arabic terms if you like. But as I said before, in this class, we are going to use the English terms. So four properties: status, gender, number, and type. I hope everybody have memorized this by now. This is important. So first we will look into status. It's all revision. You already know this. It's just a reminder. So just jog your memory. Rafa, how to tell the status of a Rafa? So of an ism, sorry. How to tell the status of an ism? How you tell the status? This is a table that will describe that. So there are three types of status: Rafa, Nasab, and Jar. Rafa, Nasab, and Jar. For singular words, you use the ending haraka. But for dual and plural, both sound plural masculine and sound plural feminine. We can use the word sound plural, or we can use the term sound plural now because you know what that means. For dual, sound plural masculine and sound plural feminine, we go with the ending sound. For rafa, for singular, single dhamma or two dhamma, dhammatain. Nasab, if you see at the last letter that there is a fatha or two fatha, fathatain, it means it is nasab. And if the last letter of the ism has a kasra on it or two kasra, then it means it is jar. So dhamma, one or two. Rafa, nasab would be one fatha or two fatha, and for jar it is one kasra or two kasra. But for dual, we go with the ending sound because we cannot go with the ending haraka because ending haraka is kasra for all of them, so we cannot differentiate them. So ending haraka, ani sound like muslimani is rafa, and aini sound like muslimaini is for nasab and jar. Both have the same ending sound. And we will differentiate based on how they are used in a sentence. For masculine sound plural, the ending sound is una, ina, ina. So una is rafa, ina sound is nasab or jar. And for feminine, atun is rafa, and atin sound, the ending sound, tells us it is nasab or jar. So we should know all this. But what about the broken plurals? We haven't talked about them. We talked about the masculine sound plural. We talked about the feminine sound plural and how we will tell their status, rafa, nasab, or jar. But what about the broken plurals? Broken plurals are treated as for broken plurals, we use the same rule which is for singular. So broken plural words and the singular words, the way to tell their status is the same. You look at the ending haraka, the haraka on the last letter. Okay. So this is all about ism, how to tell the status. But there was one thing I said about the pronouns. Now my question to the class is, and you can raise your hand if you know the answer. Can we use these rules in this which are given in this table to tell the status of a pronoun? Can we do that? Can we use these rules? So Abdullah or okay, Abdullah Shuaib or Abdurrahman, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. No, we can't.
No, we can't. Yeah, so we have the pronouns have a different set of rules. So remember this always. These rules do not apply to pronouns. Pronouns are ism, but we cannot apply these rules to pronoun. For pronoun, we have a separate set or different set of rules. But we learn, and that will be taught at a later stage. But at this stage only, we can tell that the detached pronouns are rafa status. So at this stage, we can only learn that detached pronouns are rafa status. Nasab and jar, when they are nasab and when they are jar, that will be taught separately. Okay, so remember this. This is how to tell the status. So we are done with revising status. Next is gender. Hmm? In Arabic language, every ism has a gender. Only two, masculine or feminine. Masculine or feminine. This is, some languages don't have gender when it comes to ism, but Arabic does. So what is the default? Default gender is masculine. So if you see an ism, you look for reasons to call it feminine. If you don't see a reason, if you don't find a reason to call it feminine, you call it masculine. So all we're going to learn is reasons to call something, call an ism feminine. So first one is a real feminine. The feminine because of biological reason, like mother, like daughter, sister. And then there are non-real reasons, non-real feminine, like ta marbuta at the end. There are some exceptions that we discussed before, like Usama or Ubaida. These are masculine names. But generally, ta marbuta at the end means this is a feminine word. Names of places are all feminine. Body parts in pairs. Body parts that we have two of them. For each one we have two. So those words are the name the words used to describe those body parts. They are feminine, and there are some words which are feminine just because Arabs use them as feminine in their language. They treat them as feminine. So because they Arabs call them feminine, we will have to call them feminine as well. And then there are three-letter words, and the fourth letter will be which looks like ya but sounds like alif, like kubra, uzma, sughra, bushra. So three letters followed by a ya. It is called alif maksura, which is written like ya but sounds like alif. But there are some exceptions like Isa, Musa, and Yahya. And the last reason to call an ism feminine is broken plurals. We know what broken plurals are now, so we can add that to the list. So how many reasons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 reasons we have studied to call an ism feminine. And if you don't see any of these reasons, if you see an ism and you want to determine its gender, you go through this list and you see if you see any of these reasons to call it feminine. If you don't see any of these reasons, then you call it masculine. So this is how you tell the gender. So status is done, gender done. Now we will talk about number. Number, there are three types, three categories of an ism with respect to number: singular, dual, plural. So remember, when we say plural, it is more than two. Plural does not include two. This is different in English. When you say plural in English, it includes two, but not in Arabic. For in Arabic, we have a separate category called dual, which is for two. So in the Muslim chart, first column was for singular, second was for dual, and the third was for plural. And then we learned that the plurals, so the duals end with ani and aini sound. The plurals in the Muslim chart, they ended with una, ina, or atun or atin sound. And we said, and we learned that the plurals that end with any of these four sounds, una, ina, atun, or atin, they are called sound plural. But there are many, many other plurals who do not end with this sound. They have a different ending sound. And those plurals are called broken plurals. Sound plurals, broken plurals. So these are the two main categories of the plurals. And we are supposed to be clear on this. How to differentiate between a sound plural and a broken plural. So we just look at the ending and see if it is una, ina, atun, or atin. If it is, then it is a sound plural. Otherwise, it will be a broken plural. And then we learned an interesting fact. Arabs, when they use a broken plural in their language, they generally treat it as singular and feminine. It is a plural, and it may be a plural for something which is masculine, but in the way they use a broken plural in their language, they use it as singular feminine, as if it is a singular feminine word. Okay, so remember this. So this is with three done, status, gender, and number. We are done revising them. The last one is type. Type, with respect to type, there are only two categories. And what are they? Common noun, proper noun. And it is similar with this to gender with respect to how we treat, how we find out, like, is it common or proper? The default type is common. So if you see an ism and you want to know, is it common noun or proper noun, what you do, you you look for reasons to call it proper. You look for reasons to call it proper. If you don't find any reason to call it proper, then it is common. So all we have to learn is reasons to call an ism proper. Proper names. It could be names of places or names of people. They are proper nouns. Nouns that start with an al. And remember, when it starts with an al, the tanween is replaced by a single haraka. So qalamun will change to al-qalamuna. Ayatun will change to al-ayatu, not tun anymore. Because al doesn't like tanween. It changes it. So nouns that start or ism that start with al, they are also proper nouns. Third one, pronouns. All the pronouns, attached, detached, both types, they are proper nouns. Proper nouns. And Ismail Ishara. And after the last class, I shared a couple of slides in the class WhatsApp, um, room and WhatsApp number, and I had requested that you memorize these words. So haza, hazihi. Haza means this. Haziha also means this, but one is for masculine, the other for feminine. And zalik and tilka, and the plural is of laika. So these words, they're all proper nouns. The words, the asma'ul ishara, which are used to point at something. And then asma'u mawsula. Allazi means the one who. Allazina, those who, for masculine. Allati, the one who, for feminine. Allati, those who, for feminine. Whenever you see them, they're always proper. Very simple. There were other two which we just briefly discussed. The one who is being called is always proper, and if mudaf is mudaf ilayh is proper, mudaf is also proper. But we will not go into details at this time because you haven't learned these yet. So when we learn them in future, then you will know more. So 7 reasons. Like there were 7 reasons to call an ism feminine, and now we have learned 7 reasons to call an ism proper noun. Okay, so this is all about revision. Now we will go through a few words. We have a couple of minutes. So we will go through a few words and try to tell all its 4 properties. Ar-Rahmanu. I want to know the status. Ar-Rahmanu means the one who is extremely merciful. The one who is extremely merciful. This is a singular, so I have to go look at the last haraka, which is a dhamma, so it is rafa. Gender. If I go with the go through the reasons to call it feminine, I don't see any reason to call it feminine, so it is masculine. It is a singular, and because it has al with it, that is why it is proper. Proper noun. It is one of the reasons to call it proper. So this is what we're going to do in the breakout room. Let's do one in the main room, one more in the main room, and then we can go to the breakout room. Any volunteer who wants to do this? Any volunteer? Okay, Saad Iqbal raised his hand first. Okay, Saad. Jahannama.
Assalamu alaikum. Jahannama, the first it would be Nasab.
Nasab. Okay.
It's a place, it's a name of a place, so it's feminine.
Okay.
It's singular, and since it's a name of a place, it's also proper noun.
Name of a place. That's why it is proper. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do one more. Good job, Saad. Good job. Hiba. Hiba is going to do this. Hiba, your word is ashaban. Ashaban means companions.
Status.
Yeah.
Nasab. It's
Ashaban is a singular or a plural?
singular or plural.
Ashaban
Sorry.
means
It's
companions.
companions, multiple.
It is a broken plural. So broken plural, we treat them as if they are singular for telling the status, right?
So it's singular feminine.
We have to finish with status first. What is it?
Nasab. The status is nasab.
Nasab, okay. How about its gender and number?
Feminine, its numbers singular.
Yeah, it is a plural word, but because it is a broken plural, and Arabs treat it as singular feminine, so that's why we are gonna say it is feminine and singular. How about type?
Common.
Common noun. There is no reason to call it proper, so that's why it is a common noun. So that's where I will stop. We have about 10 minutes, and we should go into the breakout room. There are a lot of words. There are other slides with more words that we can use to figure out all the four properties: status, gender, number, and type. All right, so let's go to the breakout rooms now.